What's up, everybody? It's Fabio Potent. You know this, back with another chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen. Today, we're going to be reading chapter 100 and... Where we at, actually? Where we at? Excuse me, chapter 164. Last where we left off, Yuji was about to fight Mr. Persona user edgelord Higuruma, who was an ex-defense lawyer that just gave up and said, fuck that shit. He pulled out his Persona Thantos, and he's about to go to work. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Let's see what's up. I haven't read Kaisen Weekly in a minute. I'm happy to be back, caught up in the middle of the action. So let's go. Let's see what Gege got for us this week with this Kaisen. Alright, chapter 164. Tokyo #1 Colony, part 4. Alright, we got homie Higuruma standing with Thantos. Shikigami. Higuruma holds 100 points. He may have killed 20 sorcerers. So instead of charging, I'll start on defense. The defensive. I'll be ready for any attack. We'll make sure I'm recording. Alright, that would be sick. Yuji's in his stance. Domain expansion. Yo, we haven't seen one of these in a while. Domain expansion. Deadly sentencing. Uh-oh. And now they're like in a court setting. A domain before he can activate his curse technique. Before he can activate his curse technique, I gotta take him out. Usually he runs up, winds up with a kick that probably was a mistake, and it stops. This domain forbids the use of violence for both of us. I'm back where I started. Yes, but verbal violence is another matter. Judgment, please begin. Yuji Itadori, and now Thantos is talking. Yuji Itadori lies under suspicion of entering the Maji Vegas Pachinko parlor on July 16th, 2017. 2017. Goddamn, 2017 was so long ago. Holy shit. And Sendai City, Miyagi Prefecture, despite being under the age of 18 at the time. Huh? Wait, no, Judgment knows everything about everyone inside the domain. But don't worry, I do not have that information. The verdict depends solely upon the arguments that you and I present. And this is evidence. Judgment has submitted this for deliberation. This evidence is not necessarily conclusive, and you will not be told what is inside. You must state your case to dispel all doubt, and thereby win a pronouncement of innocence from Judgment. Is this a curse technique for trials? He's wearing a badge. He's a real lawyer, you idiot. Yuji. And he's prosecuting me. Okay, this is actually becoming an interesting fight. It's like just like some JoJo shit, actually. Higuruma is a modern man. But this domain reminds me of something Master Tengen said. Domains used to be more common technique for sorcerers in past. The reason is that many domains now involve deadly can't-miss attacks. But they weren't always that way. They merely forced targets inside to obey the curse technique rules. That was how most domains function. Constructing a domain that is meant to be lethal requires immense skill, so the number of users decreased. That means this domain isn't necessarily fatal and can't physically harm me. But plus, it relies on a binding vow that requires an explanation of the rules. Right? We learned that a long time ago. You have one chance to make a statement, as do I. After your statement, I will offer rebuttal based on this evidence. Then Judgment will deliver a lawful verdict. What happens if he says I'm guilty? Sorry, but I don't have to answer that. But I will tell you this instead. You have 3 options. Silence, confession, denial. And denial may include false statements. So I can lie in court? If everyone told the truth, there would be no need for trials. Begin your defense. Judgment isn't very patient. Wow. This is actually pretty interesting because this would be a fight that Megumi would body. Higuruma, he ran into the right guy. Yuji he's like not the smartest dude. So like I'm interested to see how Yuji handles this because he's not a thinker. Megumi though probably would body this because he would probably get out of this quickly because he's a high IQ thinking kind of guy. I'm interested to see how Yuji gets out of this because he's not really a thinker and this is not like a brute. This isn't like a brute fight. He's not gonna be able to brute force his way through this. So I'm very interested to see. So let's see what happens. They're standing. I really did go to that pachinko parlor and play the machines. I think I even won. So lying is the only way to get off. The problem is I don't know what the evidence is. The evidence is not necessarily conclusive. Wasn't me. Number one, so Yuji's thinking right now. Number one, if the evidence doesn't prove I entered the pachinko parlor, I just need to stay silent or deny it. Number two, but if and then it's the opposite number one. But if the evidence is, then I wouldn't be admitting I went in, thereby digging my own grave. Number two, if the evidence proves I entered the parlor, can I say that it was for another reason? I could try confessing in hopes of a lighter sentence, but does this court even do that kind of thing? And number three, if the evidence proves I not only went in but also played, then I'm basically screwed. Yuji, he thinks he came to something. So he's going to tell the truth or he's going to kind of lie. Yes, I went into the pachinko parlor, Maji Vegas, but only to take a shit, to take a dump. I refuse to choose. 3. I don't know if I can plead. I don't know if I can plead extenuating circumstances here, but I think I'll make the best impression. Is that so? Now it's my turn. This is an image from a security camera at the cash exchange window near Maji Vegas on the day in question. Does this individual exhibit the appearance and build of the accused? Pairing this photo with his own admission of entering the premises casts his history about the restroom in doubt. It is certain that despite being underage, he entered with the intent of playing the machines. So what am I guilty of? The establishment, Yuji, he can't handle this. The establishment expressly forbids entry to minors. So, unlawful entry. Article 130. Was that 130? Hold on, let's zoom in. Is that 130? Hold on. Yeah, it's 130. I had to zoom in because I couldn't see. Unlawful entry, Article 130 Penal Code. After all laws specially for entertainment establishments don't allow punishing minors. After all, laws specifically for entertainment establishments don't allow punishing minors. That's not fair. Then there's nothing I could have said. On the contrary, Japan forbids gambling, so parlors and cash exchange are separate legal entities. In some cases, multiple parlors share one exchange. We are only on trial for the parlor. You just need to deny it by saying I never seen that pachinko parlor. You just needed to deny it by saying I've never seen that pachinko parlor. Now, for the verdict, guilty. Confiscation. I'm out of the domain, but the judgment found me guilty. I don't feel any different. Yuji, Higurama, he comes up, he swings at him. He hits him with the Galvin, or whatever. It beats him back. It flies. What the hell's going on? Oh, he's beating the shit out of him. The gavel. He can make it appear and disappear and even change its size. What? What does this man? Whoa. How many powers this man got? This man got the changing gavel. He goes, he yeets him, and he makes it disappear and comes back and he makes it bigger. Okay. But what's worse, you're tough. I can't control my cursed energy. Yeah, that's one thing I got going for me. To be continued. Okay. So, what did we learn? I'm actually glad that Yuji got outsmarted because there was no way that he was good. Megumi would have got through this easily. This is a good chapter for power scaling. Higuruma, he's really good against dumb people because Yuji just didn't understand. Megumi probably would have finessed his way out, but we don't know. We'll never know. I am liking this fight so far. So he said guilty confiscation. So he probably stole his cursed energy. We'll have to see till next week. How will Yuji get out of this? He's gonna have to outsmart Higuruma some way. Because there's no way he can outmuscle him with his power. But we'll see. Dude's power is interesting though. I like how this fight's going so far. It seems it might go. I wonder how often he's gonna start his domain expansion. And he did it at first too. It's like he knew Yuji was stronger than him physically, activated his domain expansion, took it from him, took his cursed energy, and then he's not gonna fight him straight up. Just 9,000 IQ. But yeah, that was chapter 164. We should be back next week. I can't wait, and I'm on vacation next week, so it's lit. Yeah, without further ado, that was Jujutsu Kaisen, chapter 164. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what y'all thought about that chapter. What did y'all think about Higuruma's ability? What do y'all think about Thanatos and the Judgment? What y'all think about that? And what do you think about Yuji not really being able to just muscle his way through and him thinking wrong? I like that. I like that Yuji used his brain, but it was still wrong. Because he's not the smartest guy. He shouldn't be able to figure that out. That's like a Megumi thing. Well, yeah, without further ado, I'm going to hop out of here. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, please. I'm Fabio Potent, and I'll see y'all in the next one.